Hello my lovelies, welcome to my channel and my art studio. I am Mrs. B, your Catholic art teacher. Today boys and girls, I'm going to give you some tips for your drawing exam which is starting this week, Monday. So let's get started. So you will need your drawing materials because it's a drawing exam. So I've gone through my what I have, my collections, and I have some drawing pencils, different drawing pencils, an eraser, a nice soft eraser. It says 2B eraser, but maybe you can get a nice soft eraser that will not leave any marks on your page, because you want to have your page as clean and neat as possible. Only if you need to smudge, to shade your picture, that you can have smudges on your. Other than that, try to keep your paper nice and neat. The next thing you need to do is sharpen your pencils. So like for example this one, this is a 5B pencil. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sharpen it. So you just simply sharpen it like that, and try to sharpen it with a nice point. Here's another one. This is a 2B pencil, which is what I asked you all to bring. But if you have 3B, 4B, 5B, it's entirely up to you. Even just B. I have, some pencils with just B. You can, it's fine. You can just bring that to school for your drawing exam. So boys and girls, you have your pencils and you have them sharpened. All right, try to have them as for lovely points. Okay, so and you've got your eraser. So first of all, you need to know what position to have your paper. So you can look at the drawing, the subject on the board, and you may have to have it a portrait, which is the longer side up, or you can have it like this way, which is called landscape. So you can either have it portrait, which is the taller side up, or landscape, which gives you a wider look. So according to what it is, first of all, you have to decide whether you should have it a portrait or the landscape. And the one thing that you may need to guide you is the shading value chart. This shading value chart is simply rectangles within a large rectangle. You have this long, narrow rectangle, and you shade in the different values. So you start off very dark, and as you go in, you end with very light shade. So I'll show you how you can shade your whatever you're doing. So you hold your pencil this way. That gives you a better way to shade, and you just go pressing with your pointer finger. You just press on it very hard so that this part will be very dark. In fact, it should be the darkest in your paper. And as you're going along, you go lighter, 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 and you make sure that all the corners are covered. And as you're going along, you get lighter. So you can just go like this. So this has to be extra dark, so you can go back and forth until you've got it at the darkest point that you need. And then as you're going along, it gets, and I'm just showing you very quickly so that you'll get an idea, a better idea as to how to shade. All right, and make sure that whatever you have under your paper is smooth so that it doesn't show any creases or lines that you don't want to have. So, you know, as you can see, I've added a little bit more pressure on my first rectangle, and as I'm going along, I'm adding more pressure, and I'm going along again. So we're going along again still. All right, we're going along again. So you want to clearly see the transition from one square or rectangle to the other. And you go along, going lighter and lighter until at the end you can barely see it. And that gives me an opportunity to change to my B pencil, and just to make it lighter. So if you have your B pencil, you can go ahead and use it for the lighter, for the three other, so the darker one, like I'm using a 6B, so the 3 squares on this side will be for the darker shades, and you have the transitioning going along like that nicely. And then for these 3, you should use your B pencil, very light indeed. And what I have shown, if it's a little too dark, you can just get your eraser and just very lightly erase like that. Okay, just lightly erase, and you can see on the eraser it is coming out very nicely. So I'm just going to go ahead and just, right, and sometimes the eraser can smudge, and it can be quite useful when it's smudging, so you can go ahead and do that there like that. Alright, and if you have another paper, you can have an extra paper with you just to erase out the smudges so that your eraser comes back nice and clean. Then you go back on the lighter side of it, and then you go back on it like that. Another useful thing to have is your cotton swab. That will be very helpful for you to do your shading, and as you can see, it really helps across your shading value chart. And that will help you, boys and girls, with your shading when you're doing your drawing exam on Monday. So you can go ahead and do that. That's the first thing that you should do, and it's like a guide for you with your shading. It's like a guide. So I'm just going to go back with my dark pencil, and I'm going to go in the corners of my, so that I don't go over the line, so that I can have an idea where the line ends, so that my shading can be well within it. When you hold your pencil this way, it actually intensifies, so it would be better to hold your pencil this way when you're doing the real shading in. It will help a great deal. And then you go along like this, and then we're going to add our layers. Okay, and then getting lighter as we're going along. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I would like to use this, but very lightly, for the other. This is my 6B. I would like to use it for my lighter ones as well, so that I can see, you know, where I'm going with this. And then I'll use my lighter B pencil, So I'm going to go back and forth until I get it to the correct shading that I want. So boys and girls, this is what you have to have so that you'll know what is dark and what is light, and then so you can use this shading value chart when you are drawing. All right, so I'm going to continue to do my shading and then I'll see you in a minute. So boys and girls, this is your shading value chart, and I've used an eraser to erase the edges where my shading went over, any little smudges on my paper. I just went ahead with my eraser and I just erased it out. All right, I just want to introduce to you this, which is a cotton swab. You could use this, or actually a blending stump would be good too. So you use this when you want to blend your shades. This is what artists have. But if you don't have blending stumps, you can go ahead and use this and it works just as well. So I shaded, you could see the dark transition to the light. And so for your drawing exam, you need to have darks and lights and mediums. You have to show this in your drawing exam. So this is my tip for you all for this week. Let me just draw something very quickly for you to have an idea what your exam is going to be like and what I really expect of you. This is more for the higher classes, so I'm going to show you the stages for the lower class, and then I will show you the developments and what I am expecting from the bigger class. Now, when I say lower classes, this is from grade K to 2. Grades K, 1 and 2, you don't need to have this shading value chart. But at least from grade 3, 4 and 5, you will need to have this shading value chart in your exam piece. So when I give you your paper, you write your name and the class you're in, and then the first thing you need to do is to draw your shading value chart. So I'm going to post this video for all the classes, but for grade K, 1 and 2, you don't need to draw this shading value chart. You just need to draw. So I'm going to give you an example of a drawing that I'm expecting from you all. It's not the same, it's not going to be the same, but at least you have an idea what your exam is going to be like. So let's begin. So I'm going to use my lightest pencil, the B pencil, or you can use whatever you have, if it's 2B, whatever, but you draw very lightly. So I want to draw circle like this, very roughly, and then in this, find the center of this, and I draw a circle going this way, and that's the center, and I'm going to draw a circle going that way. And like I say, you don't need to draw it around circle using an object. You just have to draw it the best you can. We've been practicing in first, second and third term, so you should have an idea how to draw a circle by now. So just above here, I'm going to draw a curved line like this, and the same thing on the other end, but we want to give it the rounded, we want it to look round, you know, because it's an animal, the shape of an animal. And then we're going to draw this semicircle this way, and then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and we want it to be around the same size, boys and girls. So, and then what I would like you to go ahead and do is just shade it in. I'm using a 2B pencil, so it's quite light. If you have another trick, boys and girls, to get really dark is using a black pencil crayon. You know, that would be good too, if you have it. I'm just going to go ahead and use my graphite 5B pencil because I really want to get that intense dark tone to my picture. Oops. So I need to sharpen my pencil. So I'll put that back down and then I'll go ahead and I'm going to draw a lovely, cute little nose like that. So I'm going to continue with my drawing, boys and girls. This is the level for grade K to 2. Sorry, grades K to 2. So you're expected to have a line drawing, and this is going to be the outline, like this, and you're going to have another shape like that. So what you're going to do, you're going to get your eraser and you're going to erase these lines inside of it, and then you're just going to, and this line here that I have as a guide, and then you add your little ears, like a little bunny, isn't it, boys and girls? You can see that it's a little bunny, and then the ears goes a bit like this, and then you're going to have the same thing on the other side, so you're going to have the ears coming like that. Alright, and so, and then, you know, I'll probably get you all to do a little whisker like that, and maybe just a nice little round shape like that, and the tail like this, but then I'll get you to do lines like that to show that it's very furry. All right, and then you continue with that. Then maybe you can shade the nose in a little bit lighter than the eye and have this in this way. Yeah, and then you have you know, it's like a ball of fur, so sometimes you can't even see the hind leg because it's covered in fur, but at least you have an idea, boys and girls. So that would be something like that. Maybe for grade K, I would just get them to draw the face, and then for grade 1, they would just shade in the eye and the mouth, and then for grade 2, you would have to do the body. But at least you have an idea, right? All right, so from now, I'm going to move on with the bigger grades, so like grade 3 and 4. So I would probably I'll move to another pencil, to a 5B, or you could use this pencil, which is, I got this from Dominica, so we could use this pencil. So you can go ahead and just, we're shading in now, because remember now, grades 3, 4 and 5, you are going to be shading, and we want to give the effect of very short hair, you know, so we're going to go ahead and do that all around like this. And boys and girls, if you have your shading stump, you could use it, but I've started using this, so I'm going to go ahead using this for my shading. So I'm going to go all around like this, and I'm going to shade my bunny like that, and it's going to be all around it. So we're just going to use lines to indicate the fur of our lovely little bunny. I really want to have my bunny's nose sort of not as dark as the eye, but a little bit more. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead with this shade like that. And I'll just go ahead and just put that in like this. And then we're going to have more shading like this, and then we're going to continue. So this is going to, when one evening after school I was waiting to go home, and I saw this jet black rabbit, and it obviously escaped from its owner, and it was lost. And yeah, it looks so cute and furry. So this is inspiring me of this cute little rabbit that I saw whilst I was waiting to go home. And the thing is, when I went to it to see if I could find the home where it escaped, it was a little frightened, so I didn't want to trouble it, so I just left it alone like that. So I'm just continuing with the furry. So for grade 3, I probably would I'm just giving an example. So with grade 3, you probably, I wouldn't give you more than the head to do. And grade 4 and 5, it would be more advanced with the drawing. Alright, so we're going to continue here. I'm just going to add some more like that. And I'd like to make this, because this is in the background, this is going to be a bit more darker, like that. And then we're going to have our little furry hair sticking out again, like that. Sometimes you may need a darker one still, just to emphasize parts of the ear like that. That's fine. And I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. Same thing, make it darker so that the head looks like it's the head in front of the ear. Which is what I'm trying to get anyway. Alright, so boys and girls, these are little tips for your exam, your drawing exam, and I'm hoping that this you will find will come very useful for you when you are preparing for your exam. Okay? So what you'll be doing is just drawing what you see on the board. So I'm going to go ahead. This, the face of the rabbit is a little bit lighter, and so I'm going to go ahead and just use this B pencil, and yeah, I'm just going to create, having the fur going in. I'm also going to be using this technique, which you can use. These are different shading techniques. This is called scumbling. This is hatching. This is cross hatching. So I'm just giving you all some techniques that I have developed over the years. So we're going to continue with our bunny. going to go around here like that. This is going to be a little, just around the mouth area here, like that. Just a little darker, but so it's a mixture of scumbling, hatching, cross hatching with my shading. If you see, and it's just a layer of them going along. Then around here is the mouth, and I want it to be a little darker. So I'm going to go ahead with my 2B pencil, but then I'm going to get my darker pencil, just to do a little shading like that, and then going like that, so it will look okay. And just in case, you could use your eraser to lift up, you know, to lift up your certain areas that maybe have gone a little too dark. Alright, so don't forget to get a nice clean paper so that you can rub off any pencil, so that when you make your line it'll be nice and clear like that. And you go erase it and try again like that. Okay, and we're going to do that for here as well, right around here, and you can actually use these in some areas here just to create shading. And okay, alright, we're going to do the same thing on the other side, boys and girls. And I don't want this video to be too long because I want you to have an idea. But basically, this is what you'll be doing for your exam. And yeah, you can go ahead and use, actually I'm going to use this and add. Can you see that with this I can actually draw with? So because I use this as a way of shading and blending, it's given me the ability to use it to, so these are all different techniques I'm sharing with you. Okay, so I just want to end this video because, you know, I don't want to go too long over my time, because I'm sure that you have to prepare yourself for the other exams that that's coming your way too, you know, because you have to be preparing for all your other exams. So I'm going to go ahead with this video and just but at least you have an idea what you're expected for your exam. And once you've done the layers, you can add like, oops, well that didn't help. You could add like the little whiskers. And usually over the eyes you get little whiskers like that, just to add then I'm going to go back and you can also use zigzag lines. Zigzag lines is another way of inferring that this is fur that's going around. Use the pun infer. Yes, wasn't intentional. There you are. There we go, boys and girls. You can continue with this. You can make this bunny as fluffy as you want to. But I'm just gonna, it's gonna take me too much time. And I don't want it to frighten the children to think that I'm expecting this from all of them. So I'm leaving it as like this, and a little rough around the edges so that at least, you know, nobody will get intimidated, but at least will try their best when it comes to doing their drawing exam. So boys and girls, I think I'm going to call it a day. Can't wait to see your work when you have completed. Don't forget, you can use your pencils and a good soft eraser, and you can use your cotton swabs, or if you have blending stumps, even better. And yeah, make sure your pencils are nice and sharp, ready for your, and hold a sharpener just in case something happens and you need to sharpen your pencil. Don't forget the different techniques that I showed you: scumbling, hatching, and cross hatching. And that's how you do it. And you can be doing that. You can also use zigzag like that. Zigzag is another way of shading. So boys and girls, that's all I have to share with you today, and I'm really hoping that you will do well in your drawing exams. I can't wait to see your work, boys and girls, because I'm sure if once you follow the directions, you will be successful. So God bless, boys and girls, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.